If you listen closely to a dandelion's breath, you might hear a forgotten wish whispering your name. In the sleepy village of Elderglen, where fog clung to rooftops like old secrets, and the air always smelled faintly of lavender and old books, there lived a curious girl named Alara. Alara was 12, with ink-black hair that curled like question marks and eyes the color of rainy skies. She wasn't like the other children, who played tag or skipped stones by the river. Alara spent her days kneeling by mossy wells, chasing floating dandelions or wandering fields barefoot, searching for something only she seemed to sense tiny glowing orbs that flickered in and out of sight like fireflies made of dreams. She called them wishes. Not the kind you make on your birthday or throw into fountains for fun, but forgotten wishes, the ones people whispered once and never believed in again. A wish, a lonely boy whispered into his pillow. A hope, a widow released with her last candle. Wishes lost to time, but not entirely gone. Alara could find them. The first one she ever discovered was in the hollow of an old tree. It pulsed gently, a sphere of soft blue light. When she picked it up, warmth spread through her fingers, and a faint sigh echoed in her mind. She didn't know how, but she knew it was someone's forgotten wish, and it made her feel less alone. From that day forward, she began collecting them. She kept them in little glass jars, tucked safely in a wooden chest beneath her bed. Some were faint, barely shimmering. Others glowed like bottled stardust. She never told anyone. They wouldn't understand. But then one day, something changed. It was a gray morning when Alara followed a trail of drifting dandelion seeds into the forest beyond Elderglen. She wasn't supposed to go past the stone marker. The woods were said to be haunted by the wind's old sorrows, but a peculiar golden glimmer tugged at her heart, the kind of glimmer she'd never seen before. She followed it past tangled roots and whispering trees until she came upon an ancient stone well, nearly swallowed by ivy. Hovering just above the dark mouth of the well was the most beautiful wish she'd ever seen. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Alara reached out, and the moment her fingers touched it, it whispered, "Are you still there?" Alara gasped, stumbling back. No wish had ever spoken before. She stared at the orb, now softly rotating in her palm like it was waiting. "Please, don't let me disappear again." The voice was soft and childlike, but ancient, like it had waited 1,000 years just to be heard. Heart pounding, Alara cradled it gently and ran all the way home. That night, the whispering continued. Not in words, always, but in emotions, memories, echoes, flashes of a boy standing by a sea cliff, whispering a wish into the wind. "I wish I mattered, even just to one person." Alara felt her chest tighten. The next morning, she made a decision. She wouldn't just collect forgotten wishes anymore. She would return them. She started with the quietest ones. The wish of a weeping girl long ago who had dreamed of dancing but never dared to try. Alara tucked the glowing orb into a music box left on her grave. Another, a flickering red orb, belonged to an old man who had once wished for forgiveness. Alara left it on the doorstep of the house he'd abandoned, along with a note. "You are still remembered." Each time she returned a wish, the orb would dissolve into the air like a sigh of peace, and Alara would feel a part of the world brighten. But the golden wish, the one that whispered, stayed. It refused to fade. "You found me, but I don't know who I am anymore." She spoke to it every night, learned its emotions. It was gentle, kind, lonely, but most of all scared. "What if I was never real?" it whispered once. "You're real to me," Alara whispered back, clutching the jar close. One stormy evening, as wind howled through the trees and thunder cracked open the sky, the golden orb glowed so brightly it lit up her entire room. I remember. Elara sat up, breath caught. My name was Kale. I wished to find someone who wouldn't forget me. The orb trembled. But I died before anyone heard. Tears pricked Elara's eyes. She held the orb close and whispered, I hear you. I won't forget. I promise. The next morning, Elara awoke to find the jar empty. The golden orb was gone. On her windowsill, scrawled in delicate golden handwriting, was a note. Thank you for remembering me. You were my wish, Elara, and you made it come true. From that day forward, whenever Elara found a forgotten wish, she'd smile and say softly, I'm listening. And sometimes, just sometimes, the wishes whispered back,